Hi, I had the microphone muted when I recorded the first half of this video, so please excuse the disjointed me talking video and what you see on the main camera video. Anyway, let's get into it. Hello interwebs, welcome to Let's Build Computers. Today I'm taking a look at the XPG Invader. This is one of two new cases from XPG that have just recently come out. So this is a mid-tower with a mid-range price tag. It's got all the requisite stuff: tempered glass side panel, 2 hard drive bays, and full height front radiator mounts, and all the usual stuff that you'd find in a case. But where I feel like this case gets interesting is the sideways radiator mount that it has. And this has two interesting effects. Firstly, you can set it up so your water cooling radiator can be exhausting out the right hand side panel of the case. So this means that it's getting clean air from the front intakes, but it's not dumping its heat into the middle of the case. And the other thing that can also achieve is that it puts the radiator and its fans out on show as well, whereas normally they'd be tucked behind the front panel where you can't see it most of the time. It's interesting that this feature is also there in addition to the front mounts and top mounts as well for fans, which means you can more or less mount 1 or 2 radiators anywhere you like in this case, so it's absolutely brilliant for water cooling. The front panel is a simple plain metal design with full height vents on both sides, so unlike a lot of cases you won't find it smothering the front intake fans. And a really nice quality of life feature that it has is that this front panel just pulls straight off with magnetic latches, and then the front filter behind it also just comes off with magnetic latches as well. So this provides instant access for cleaning out the front filter or moving front fans around. The top mesh filter is also magnetic, and there are 2 additional filters on the bottom of the case which are removable, and the back filter is also magnetic. So a lot of thought went into the maintenance of this tower, and that's foresight that I don't often see even on premium cases. In addition to all of this, you also get a pair of 2.5-inch mounts for SSDs, lighting or fan controllers, and you get a pair of 120mm 3-pin airflow fans pre-fitted, and these can be moved around to wherever you'd like to put them. The front panel located on the top of the case includes a nice looking pair of USB 3.0 ports, a headset jack, as well as power and reset. But there's also an extra button revealing another party trick of this case, which is a built-in RGB controller. As well as the hidden RGB downlight at the front of the case, you can connect another 4 digital RGB fans or strips to this controller, or even more if you use splitter cables. However, this alludes to what I feel is the principal downfall of the Invader. All of these things are sold separately, and this case clocks in at about £80 or $90 on Amazon at the time of recording this video, and that puts it head to head with other cases like the venerable Phanteks P400 series or even the Corsair IQ220T, both of which include internal lighting or RGB fans respectively. The Invader's internal layout is excellent and it's built with decent materials, but the panels don't really line up that well, and that's not an issue that you're going to see on either that Phanteks or the Corsair case. Even the GameMax Kamikaze Pro that I looked at recently comes with a full complement of RGB fans, and it costs less than the Invader does. Really, I think XPG could have done with throwing in 1 or 2 RGB fans or an LED strip or something like that to hook up to that lighting controller, and that would have kept this case really viable. But with all that said, I think this case has got some great potential to offer a fairly unique style. That side mount radiator option really transforms the internal layout of the case into something that you only really see in more exotic and significantly more expensive cases. And what this chassis really offers is a huge amount of customization if you add a little bit of imagination to it. So let's get to building, and I'll show you what kind of thing that you can achieve with a modest budget and a little bit of creativity. So firstly, I've built up the case with a Ryzen 3600 platform in it and a 240mm AIO water cooler. This is how you can expect the case to look with no added extras, and I think it works really well. I had to rotate my pump head around to get the hoses to line up nicely, but you know, that's not a problem. That seems to work just fine. And I really like the way the whole internal layout looks from a front three-quarter view, which is where most people are looking at their computers from most of the time. It's really nice just being able to see the radiator on show instead of having to sort of peer around and have a look, you know. However, it lacks just some choice lighting that would just really bring it to life. So I'm going to dig through my accessories and see what else I can find that I can put in here as well. So with some RGB fans and an LED strip, suddenly the whole thing does actually come to life quite a lot. It bears mention that I said earlier on there were 4 digital RGB headers in this case. There's actually 2 digital and 2 analog headers. So I've got the LED fans connected up to digital headers, and I had to use splitters in order to be able to connect up 4 of them at the same time. And then I've got just an analog RGB strip plugged into one of the analog headers to provide a wash light in the case. And I can press the button on top to cycle through the colors. So it starts on off, and then we can go through the 7 RGB colors, which just provide a flat light inside the case. So if I leave it on white there, we can have just a white surround in there. And then we go into a couple of different color wheel style effects, which I'm not a huge fan of, to be honest. I think the only one that I'd actually use would be just the rainbow, just the color wheel that I had it on. So maybe that one. So that's a choice. Obviously, RGB is an interesting thing. It doesn't have to be rainbow. The point of RGB is that you can customize it to be whatever you want it to be. So we'll leave it on the rainbow just as a demonstration for now. So cheap LED strips and LED fans like this are readily available from Amazon, and they let you customize a case just like this for very little cost. Certainly well below how much it would cost you to buy an NZXT Hue or Corsair iQ setup. However, if this is an a la carte chassis, I just wish it had the a la carte price tag to go with it. But despite these shortcomings, the Invader is pretty well designed on the inside. A lot of small quality of life features that it has seem like they should be obvious, but things like having cable routing holes in the right places, like 2 cable routing holes down there, and the cable routing hole for your graphics card power, and things like that, and you know, other maintenance access, like easily being able to access dust filters. This seems like it should be obvious, but is often surprisingly absent in even premium cases. Some PC chassis do make me feel like whoever designed it doesn't actually build computers, and no one at that company actually beta tested the case while it was prototyped. However, the Invader is the opposite of this. It genuinely feels like it was designed by someone who builds PCs and said, no, you need 2 holes at the bottom for header cables, and that middle standoff is really handy when you're dropping the motherboard in. So for either a new builder or an experienced one, the Invader is a powerful debut from XPG. And in a crowded market where all the cases seem to be basically the same thing, it's got some nice unique features. I'd like to see either a slight price drop on it or to have an update to it where you get some accessories included or the build quality improved to match the price. However, if I take it at face value, I think it's pretty rad. So thank you very much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye for now.